Well, a pleasant good morning to each and every one of you today. Uh, this stream is going to be short, but it is something that is demanded that I do. So I'm going to do it right now. First of all praise be to the Most High God. The Most High God always comes first on these streams, always comes first, no matter what I say or do. The Most High is who you look to. We wake up in the morning. That's the one that gives us energy, your strength, keeps us, preserves us in the night. Once you're alive, the Most High is keeping you. So we must give all praise to the Most High. Second of all, this stream, as you can see, it says live now or live now, and we are live right now. And that's coming courtesy of our sponsor, which is LIVE Products. Live now, we're live now. We have a line of products which are drink products, natural fruit juices, low in sugars, and something that you really should use in your diet if you are health conscious and you want natural fruit juices. We have the different flavors, sorrel, orange, fruit punch, lime, grapefruit, and Morby that are available. And if you're in the Trinidad and Tobago area, I'm still not international, but if you're in the Trinidad and Tobago area, you can place your order by calling 319-4788. That's 319-4788. You can call via phone or you can call via WhatsApp. In addition, there is also the LIVE cleaning products. We have liquid detergent, we have fabric softener, all-purpose cleaner, also known as disinfectant and dishwashing liquid. LIVE products, live now, we're live now. Let's talk a little bit about Restore the Snyderverse stuff. For just a small snippet of it, we want to go into, I already covered this stuff here, but there's something else I want to cover. So, first of all, merchandising, merchandising, merchandising. Okay? When it comes to merchandising, for some reason, with DC, Zack Snyder's name pops up all the time. And I'm going to show you what I mean by looking at Twitter right now. And you guys are going to get the picture of what I'm talking about straight there. Cinehouse, he said, well, first of all, let's just take the announcement. DCU, Warner Bros. Discovery is auctioning off Ben Affleck's Batman suit from Batman v Superman and other props and costumes to celebrate Batman's 85th anniversary. Listen, man. I mean, look how they celebrate Batman's 85th anniversary. They're giving fans Batman's Batman suit and all the accessories from Batman v Superman. That is crazy. Crazy. They're not doing that for any other DC brand out here. So Cinehouse makes this comment. We don't want Snyder, but we want to continue to profit off of him. Shaking my damn head. These people really do have mental health issues. Zack Snyder was keeping DC alive. Make no two mistakes about it. Okay? And these people have a vendetta against the man. I mean, with Abby and DeLuca, they would obviously they would love to see Zack Snyder back on the ball, you know, back doing his thing. But you know that the rest of people, I don't know what if it's some legal document or something they've shrined into law so that Zack cannot come back and do work directly with DC. But man, these people are sick to their core. So just based off this information, what is actually selling with DC? I mean, DC's absolute Batman is also doing well, and Batman is a character that does very well with DC and DC products. But the weird thing about it is this: they didn't choose Christopher Nolan's Batman. They didn't choose another Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman. No, they chose to use Zack Snyder's Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman. It's crazy because they know fans will buy up that stuff. They know there's a market for this stuff. So if you know there's a market for it, please listen to the fans finally. Please listen to the 1.5 million tweets. Please listen to the people who have not been buying your stuff because they don't like what you have. And restore the Snyder first. How many times do we have to say that? By the way, on another note, Netflix, I've canceled my Netflix subscription and I've informed Netflix that I'm boycotting them because they have erased, they've done just like every other uh, business that's been influenced by Israeli lobbyists and Israeli organizations in censoring all Palestinian content. If they could, they would shut up the mouths of any Palestinian speaking about anything. And it is disgusting. And I'm not going to support Netflix. I don't care what's on it until they rectify that situation. And all of you out there, I advocate very strongly that you also boycott Netflix. And I love Ray Fisher. I really love him to death. I wanted to see his two things, the two programs that he has on Netflix. But I'm not going to watch those things on Netflix. I'm not going to support Netflix until they reverse their decision. If they never do, I will never watch Netflix again. That's just what it is. I'm not going to deal with companies that cow down and don't have a spine to put out the content that they want to put out, to do what they need to do. They're influenced by lobby groups and they're influenced by people who are Zionists. I am not going to. I'm telling you right now, I am not going to support that. I'm not supporting Starbucks. I'm not supporting any of these companies which are blatantly supporting Israel and censoring anyone who's critical of Israel or has content that is critical of Israel. I'm sorry, you're just not going to be used by me. And you will say, well, you're using Twitter right now, and Elon Musk is in support of. Yes, but he is actively censoring some people, but he's not censoring Palestinian content. Like he's not like Netflix holistically censoring. He's deceptively censoring people through algorithms. All right, let's get to some big news. So let's start off with the huge bomb right now. This is epic, in my opinion. This is tremendous because of so many different reasons. But Peter Dow said, breaking news, the International Criminal Court issues an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu and also Mr. Gallant. All right, those arrest warrants have been now issued. So Mr. Kareem Khan has followed through. The judges have followed through. They've come to a decision and arrest warrants have been issued for Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu and also for Mr. Gallant. So that's on now. Now, the other guys who should have been arrested, Sinwar, Benoit, and the others, they're dead. So there's no arrest to do with them. So, yeah, now Israel has two potential international criminals, genociders. Officially now that's on the books. Okay? And that's crazy. That is crazy. Okay? That is huge. The only other thing when this happened was where Mr. Vladimir Putin was also issued arrest warrants for him, so he can't travel everywhere he wants to go. I think that's it. I think that's the only other Europeans that ever got arrest warrants. And this is the first Western European, basically the Europeans, European settlers to get arrest warrants. So this is crazy. And I just had to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it right now. First of all, the reaction by the U.S. to this, because while the International Criminal Court does not, because the United States and Israel did not sign to the ICC, that is, they're not under the ICC's jurisdiction, technically speaking, because they didn't agree to the agreement of the ICC. They can be under the ICC's jurisdiction through a proxy. Let's say they are committing a war crime against a country that is under the ICC or is abided by the ICC rules. Then the ICC must act on behalf of the country that is under the ICC. So, for example, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, these are all countries which have agreed under the ICC banner. They're under the ICC banner. And even though Palestine is not recognized globally as a state, it's now being recognized as a state by certain countries, like Spain, etc., Brazil, etc., South Africa. It is not uniformly accepted as a country, but it's still in the United Nations now. It is registered as a member in the United Nations somewhat. And even if Palestine, you take Palestine out the equation here, there's still also attempted genocide in Lebanon. It's also in Syria, but particularly in Palestine. The reason why uh, Israel is in breach, and there are arrest warrants for it, is because Palestine is technically a part of Israel, right? Israel controls the entire region from the river to the sea, right? And within there are Palestinian occupied territories in which, again, the Israelis, they're in control of those territories. Even though Palestine has something called the PLO and has Hamas in the south, uh, it's still territories which are mainly controlled by Israel. Israel controls what goes into Gaza, what comes out of Gaza. And Israel polices and does what it wants with the West Bank and East Jerusalem. So because these territories are occupied by Israel, but these territories themselves, the people of the territories, or at least the governments of the territories, also abide under the rules of the ICC. Because of that, Israel's gotten roped in. So any nation by proxy can be under the ambit of the ICC. And this is where the United States of America is wrong. And we're going to go into that. So Suleiman Ahmed says, Senator Lindsey Graham threatens to sanction countries which cooperate with the ICC arrest warrant. I will soon introduce legislation that will impose sanctions on any country that cooperates with the orders of the Court of The Hague. I don't care if it's Canada, France, Germany, or any country. These arrest warrants are a threat to the U.S. and not only to Israel. We are next in line. I'm convinced that there will be a bipartisan majority for this law and that President Trump will sign it. Let me say very clearly that it doesn't really matter what law they pass in America. That's unilateral, meaning even if you put sanctions on countries, they don't give a fuck. There's BRICS now. you just go to another alternative. All you're doing is driving Canada, France, Germany, and any other country to sign BRICS and be part of BRICS. So you're actually shifting power by doing that, Mr. Lindsey Graham. You're stupid to do that. Furthermore, Mr. Lindsey Graham threatening and all this kind of trying to, wave the baton and be, a police state and police the world. That bullshit is dead. It's dead. If you want to isolate yourself from Europe and the rest of the Western world, go be my guest, but it's not going to work. Okay, these threats that Lindsey Graham is doing, and plus, you're going to be passing bad law, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if you are trying to threaten without cause, without just cause, ICC, the International Criminal Court, no, as it is called, just because you are not a signee to the International Criminal Court doesn't mean you're not under their jurisdiction. Because if you deal with somebody who's under their jurisdiction, you're under their jurisdiction. It's like if a German was to go into France and commit murder in France, well, guess what? Yes, Germany's and Germans may not be signatories to France's law and legal system, but once you're in France, you have to abide by France's legal system. And once you're occupying fucking Palestine, you are under the ICC's jurisdiction. It's just what it is. And so unless Lindsey Graham can bring lawyers, can bring an argument that shows that ICC has no right, excuse me for a second, because I'm having an interruption by a motherfucker right now. Okay. Trinidad and Tobago is quite a place. And the guy's just trying to, of course, work and sell his soil like at Manny or whatever. But it just got me triggered. I was like, trying to finish a point, and then the shit always comes and interrupts. Yes. So I was saying, if the United States of America can bring a counter argument, either arguing that because they're not under the ICC's jurisdiction, and the country in question, they are allowed to argue is not under the jurisdiction, or some other argument that can counter that. If they can't come up with some argument, then they're just bullying. They're trying to threaten and bully people. And the ICC is not playing with that. They're not going to be bullied. They said it already. If you try to stop anything that the ICC is doing, then you are going to be obstacle to the law. You'll be impeding law, and you will be persecuted accordingly. ICC is not backing down. Okay, the ICC is not backing down this time. The last time with the Afghanistan war, when the war crimes that were committed there, they backed down. They're not going to back down this time. I'll tell you why the ICC is not going to back down this time. And that's something that America is not thinking about. Russia and China are going to back the ICC's decision. And if America tries to send troops down into The Hague to arrest people in the ICC, they're going to meet Russians there, and they're going to meet Chinese there. Okay? Because they're already waging a war with Russia, in which we don't want to talk about that. That's not for this time. But Russia's already throwing a shot across the bow. Okay? Mr. Biden and his administration is trying to arrange an Armageddon, as is this disgusting guy named Netanyahu, who now has an arrest warrant on him. Okay? He is to be arrested. And this is good. This is good for the world. This is a monumental thing that happened. It is huge what has just happened. Okay? The ICC has shown it's impartial. If you commit a war crime of any kind, they're not slipping up on it. They're really dotting their I's and crossing their T's. People said, the ICC was supposed to be for Africa and all these nations. Fuck them. This is called the International Criminal Court. It's not called the Criminal Court of Africa. You gotta excuse my language, people. I don't like cursing. I feel embarrassed that I curse. But it's just how extreme my feeling is, because I understand how much humanity is in jeopardy of being destroyed. And the freedoms and rights you and I have today, those basic freedoms and rights will be stripped from us. I was just listening to a song by Calypsonia named Crazy, In Time to Come. Man, that's a crazy song. You should really, I recommend you guys listen to it. You may not understand all of the Trini twang, but man, that shit is lit, and it's scary too. And this is why I'm so passionate about what I'm saying, because I can see the future, and the future is dystopian. If they can get through with what is happening with Palestine, and we do not stop them, they're going to do the same shit to you and me. This is why it's so important that we stop this. This isn't, this ain't my problem. I got other problems. This is not for you to turn a deaf ear to. This is not for you to be silent on. You better be proactive. It's already happening in America. This thing is connected. That demon you were watching there pointing the finger, Lindsey Graham, has no soul. He has sold his soul to the devil a long time ago. Okay? He is bought. That's how serious this is. That sicko would love for everyone to go to war, have a whole bunch of war. He gets paid to do that. He's a sick fuck. That's who we have leading the countries. That's who we have leading the free world. Sick fucks. These people don't believe in caring for other people and human rights and peace. How the hell does this man have a senatorial seat? He's a sick fuck. And I don't spear words when I say this. And I know some of y'all will be like, why are you saying this? You shouldn't curse. You're a Christian. I don't know how else to explain it. How decrepit, how depraved, how sick this human being is. He's a white supremacist fuck. And a lot of them in that Senate. And if you do pay attention, the senators and the congressmen are mostly men. They're chauvinistic, sick, white supremacist fucks. There's no other way to describe them. And I know some of y'all are going to be like, oh man, Anthony, you shouldn't say that kind of stuff. It's not Christian. Like, I know, I understand. I do. But there's no other way to describe these decrepit pieces of shit. These are the people that have been concealed. The veil has been pulled from our eyes. It's a sick world out here. And we have been made to think that guys like Vladimir Putin are villains, Kim Jong-un are villains, they're strongmen, they're villains. No, these guys have actually been fighting against oppression. I'm not going to speak about China, but China, even the Chinese. Why do you think they cut their media from Google and all these things? Because they knew that those things were propaganda, and also they come in and these bots and stuff, they go into your phone, they find out your business, they're collecting information on you. That's why China closed up. That's why Kim Jong-un in the north closed up. That's why Russia closed up their doors to certain things. They had to protect themselves. I'm now getting it. I'm now getting it. They knew that this was an evil beast a long time ago. Who's been waging most of the wars in the world? Who's been always galvanizing their army to go into different countries and fight or support other countries in fighting? It hasn't been Russia. Well, Russia in the Middle East with the Hamas and they to help them defend. So Russia has been doing some of that. I wouldn't be surprised Chinese been funding different people all over the world. But the majority of these bombs and campaigns and deaths and murders we've been seeing has mostly been by the United States, painted to us as this beautiful angel. But they're leaders. I'm not saying the people. The people are victims. But the leaders of these countries, and mind you, let me just make it clear, any Western country that has adopted the same model as the United States and as Europe, they're doing the very same shit. The leaders are bought off, particularly by the private sector, the oligarchs. They're bought off. That's why they go with the international programs. And I'm not saying that some of these international programs are not bad, are not good. The intentions are good, but they're used for evil by those who have power and sway. I don't look at Vladimir Putin the same way I used to look at him. I thought he was wicked. I thought he was evil. I bought into the propaganda. And I'm not saying he's squeaky clean either. But I'm saying, when last has Putin sent troops all over the world to murder people? Who's really been expanding their power and empire? It's been France, Germany, America, Israel. They're used to doing this shit. It's not going to work anymore. The world is different. The world is so different now. And if they can't get the world under their control, they're willing and ready to destroy the world. Hopefully they survive. That's how wicked these people are. But it won't succeed. It will fail. Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupis, she said the United States vetoed a UN Security Council resolution, that was yesterday, calling for an immediate, unconditional, and permanent ceasefire in Gaza and the release of all hostages. On the Security Council, all 14 members of the Security Council, that includes the UK, that includes Germany, that includes France, all 14 of them. Oh, except for the 15, it wasn't 15, it was 14. Oh, 14 of them were in favor, and one was against. The United States, who was claiming it was a fucking ceasefire? Who claims that they were doing negotiations in Qatar? What a hypocrite. And I know the American people do not support this. That is not the will of the people. Sorry if I get emotional, people. So Nina Turner was advising people to call their senators and say no more weapons to Israel, to de-arm Israel. Nina Turner, again, she's a beautiful person, but I realize she does not understand the civic duties and the civil rights of people. If she understood what needed to be done, nobody would be placating anyone or advocating to senators to vote in the Senate for no more weapons. No, nobody. You file an injunction in your local courts, whether it's at the state level, wherever, and the states who are in support of de-arming Israel, like Ilhan Omar's state of Minnesota, you propose a draft resolution on that in your Senate, but you also put it into the courts. And all companies and all contractors within the state who are shipping weapons to Israel, a injunction should be placed on them. At the local level, this can be done and sorted out and solved, state by state, county by county. So you identify all the weapon manufacturers within your state or counties. You also identify the military and also the private sector players who are distributing these weapons, and you stop them at the ports. You stop them with the warrants, of course. You stop them also at production, if it's production for Israel. You invoke strikes within companies if they find out that stuff is going to Israel. You let them say, you say that it is legal to sabotage all products going to Israel. You stop them at ports of entry, and you put an injunction down within the state. First, the state will have to vote against the federal law or the federal grant to fund and also to supply Israel with weapons. So that you do that the Senate level, and then you invoke the injunction, and then after that you proceed. So the courts, and then you manually start to proceed to disrupt any sort of distribution to Israel. And also you freeze all the accounts of said companies which may be doing arms transfers with Israel. So that is what you do. You don't just placate and protest. That's bullshit. That goes only so far in terms of public sentiment and opinion. You have to actually take action. Mind you, also, you have to also, there's something else I was going to say and I forgot, but you have to actually take action. Talk is cheap, action speaks louder than words. With respect to the, oh yes, to the also the funding, the money transfers to Israel. The government of the United States of America, when they send that $14 billion, which is, by the way, that's the important point. Everything that is being done is illegal, okay? Under American law, not International Court of Justice law, not International Criminal Court law, because America is not under the International Criminal Court, but under the Leahy law, what they are doing is illegal. So you just invoke the Leahy law and you cause an injunction within the different states. And you stop all transactions. You stop the companies. You go with your military. You go with your police. You send them there to cease and desist on any transactions towards Israel immediately. Any products which are already on ships or in aircraft, on planes, all ports of exit. Whether it's airports, whether it's ports, the FBI, the CIA, or even the local enforcement of the area, special forces, whatever, can go in with warrants and shut the fucking thing down. And that's what you guys need to do. And if the police won't do it, then the citizens have to take up arms and legally start to enforce sabotage and do whatever is necessary, blow up, detain, shut down parts, whatever, strike, whatever, to make sure that those ships and those planes do not leave the airports. So no matter what it takes to stop these people, both in legal means and otherwise, you can do on the local level. You don't have to wait to do it on the federal level. States can reject federal law and by election. So do understand that in certain given states, particularly, this can be reversed and action can be taken.
I wish that people would understand their civic duties and understand their civil rights. A lot of y'all don't understand your civil rights. You do not understand due process, and you do not understand what civil disobedience is. You need to understand these things, because if you don't, um, you're going to be in a load of problems very soon. And in my country, it's the same thing. We have some people now organizing, but we need to work through our local governments. We also need to work through our counties. We need to work through our electorate and boundary commissions and all of that. Coordinate ourselves in my country to civilly disobey the government and to literally forget all this talk and literally take action against them. We can have litigation and we can have legal cases against the government, and we would more than likely win. I mean, governments are notoriously bad at doing legal cases. They usually lose a lot of legal cases. So it's really in our best interest to do that, especially if you're employed by pro bono or the private sector lawyers. It costs you some money to do it, but it's worth your while. So I'm just heading up people on what should be done. Thank you for the smashing of the like button. Don't forget you can also donate via PayPal. I got to wrap this up real quick, people, but I just wanted to cover some of those things. Of course, evolving, of course, is the issue with Russia and the Ukraine. I will say this. It won't. Oh my goodness. No, 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 not right now, buddy. I'll call you back. I promise. It's very important that people understand Russia's not stupid, okay? But the Americans are trying to push Russia into a bluff. They don't mind World War III for some reason. I don't know why. I guess they will be in bunkers or whatever, but they don't care about the American public. Would you please stop calling me, man? I'm in the street. So I have a call to go to, so I need to stop. Okay, I'm gonna catch you guys later. I am Christ. I am disciple. Yes, I know I didn't represent Christ by cursing and swearing, but listen, people, deep down in my soul, I was born February 14th, 1975. I was born in the year of the rabbit. I was born in the year of love. I was born in the month of love. Y'all gotta understand. If y'all don't understand this, my heart breaks when this stuff happens. You know. And I see what Michael Jackson was saying, that they don't care about us. It's so real. And you need to stop calling me. I'm going to call you in a second. My goodness. So I'm gonna catch you guys later. I gotta get off the stream. You guys have a good one. I love you guys. I really do. All of you. I don't care. The miscreant ones, the ones who maybe support Israel, the Zionists, all of you I love. It's just that you guys need to understand that certain behaviors and practices are destructive. They're evil. They're evil because they take life. They're destructive. They take life. That is why they're bad. So anyway, that's what I got for you guys. I will catch you guys later. There's somebody trying to call me. I gotta go.